Meet the Bolds, yes, meet the Bolds. Come on, meet the Bolds. You know you want to.
Hello, it's another Bolds Hour, which is a bit like Jackanory, but with fewer production values. Basically, it's Bertha on an iPad. However, it passes the time. So, another bit from the Bolds Go Wild, which of course, wouldn't you know, is available now. It's the next morning. Everyone held their breath and leaned forward to hear what Hector had to say. So, he said, as I have explained, I am a cuckoo. I've just flown in from Africa, where I spent the last 5 months in an area known as the Serengeti. Mr. and Mrs. Bold let out a gasp. Well, that's where we come from, said Mrs. Bold. Our home, declared Mr. Bold. Hector nodded sagely. Yes, I know. I'd just taken a refreshing bath on the edge of a lake in the plains there one morning. Some zebra were nearby, and I could tell they were a little on edge, nervous about something. Lions, I expect, said Bobby. Or a hungry cheetah, speculated Betty. Well, no, as it happens, it was neither of those creatures. I hopped up onto the back of a zebra to see what was going on, and I saw a family of hyenas lurking in the tall grass, a family of about 10 or so moving in fast. I told the zebra that she and her friends were in danger. She thanked me, and the whole herd of zebras stopped drinking from the lake immediately and galloped away as fast as they could. Said Mr. Bold. How annoying for the hyenas. Indeed, agreed Hector. There was a big cloud of dust, and I flew up into the branches of an acacia tree, and I heard what those hyenas had to say. Very colourful language. Hector rolled his eyes at the memory. I couldn't possibly repeat it. Mr. Bold chuckled. Ha ha! Never get in the way of a hyena and his dinner. Well, what a lovely story, said Uncle Tony. Thank you very much for sharing it. But I haven't got to the best bit yet, exclaimed Hector. There's more? Asked Tony. There is. The hyenas and I became friends and began to spend our days together. I would fly high for a look around and tell them where there was something to eat. Then I would help myself to the fleas and bugs and ticks and parasites that lived on their backs. You scratch their back, and they'll scratch yours, said Mr. McNumpty, rather pleased with his summing up of the situation. Quite so, agreed Hector, an unusual but mutually beneficial interspecies arrangement. Over the days and weeks we enjoyed nice chats together. The weather, our lives, our hopes for the future. We grew to like each other, to trust each other. I also played hide and seek with the pups, although they were a little boisterous, and I had to be ready to fly out of reach if the game got too rough. Bobby and Betty looked at each other and giggled. Then one day I asked the mother hyena if these were her first pups. She said she had several other litters and pointed out her older children amongst the other hyenas sleeping nearby. Then, to my surprise, her eyes filled with tears. She had one pup, she said, that was cleverer, funnier, and braver than all the others. Where is that pup now? I asked. The hyena stared into the distance. He's gone, far, far away. To the other side of the Serengeti? I asked. No, further than that, she said, through her tears, much further. I miss him so much. My Spot. He went to start a new life in England. Mr. Bold let out a cry and stood up, slapping a paw against his forehead in shock. Oh, my, he cried. That's me. I'm Spot. Well, I used to be called Spot when I was a wild hyena in Africa. I changed my name to Fred Bold when I left for England. Mrs. Bold stood up too and put her arm round her husband. Oh, Spot, she said, Hector was with your mother. Yes, confirmed Hector. Mr. Bold shook his head in astonishment. I can hardly believe it, he said. I thought as you told the story that she sounded like my dear old mother. And I have new brothers and sisters too. You do, nodded Hector. All very well and happy? Well, I'll be blowed. said Mr. McNumpty. I miss my mother and my home so much. It's wonderful to hear your news, said Mr. Bold, wiping his eyes. But can it really be true? Did the hyena say what her name was? Yes, her name was Imamu, said Hector softly. Fred was overcome with another flood of tears. Yes, that's my mother's name, Imamu, my dear mother. Grandma, said the twins, our Granny Imamu. They jumped up too, and all the Bolds hugged each other. I have one more bit of news for you, said Hector, after a few minutes when everyone had settled down again. Yes, said Fred. What more news can there be? A few days before I began my migration back here to England, Imamu went away for a few hours to speak to someone. She returned looking very happy and determined. I'd like you to take a message to my spot in England, she said. She made me promise to come and find you and deliver it. Yes, and thank you, said Mr. Bold. But what's the message? Hector fluffed up his feathers. Imamu said to tell you that she is coming to visit. Can you imagine? So there we are. That's it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow.